Auburn Tigers knew they had a daunting task going to Death Valley against LSU, but they did not foresee this guy to be such a huge problem. Leonard Fournette bulldozed that defense. They were no match for the running machine.
Fournette ran his way right in front of the Heisman race, and really he was the reason LSU outgained Auburn on offense, 491 yards to just 260 yards. Now Fournette accounted for nearly half of those yards with a career-high 228, 3 touchdowns. His average, an impressive 12 yards per carry.
Yeah, ain't gonna beat that any day of the week. Fournette and LSU are now 6-1 in football games where he surpasses 100 yards, and that was the story of the ball game. Welcome inside the Red Zone after hours, the Red Zone final. Chris Priest, Lauren Sisler. We are still here on the ground in Baton Rouge. We'll get to Alabama and Ole Miss in Tuscaloosa in a minute. It's halftime 17-10 Ole Miss. But first things first, Auburn, a second straight week where disappointment, but this time it cost them in the loss column.
Absolutely. Auburn falling to LSU today, 13th ranked LSU, 45-21 here in Tiger Stadium, and breaking that streak. It's now 8 games that they've lost here in Tiger Stadium. They haven't won since 1999, and it just wasn't meant to be. That became very apparent early in this football game when Leonard Fournette ripped off a 71-yard run from the first snap of this football game.
And really, there was nothing fancy about the offense. LSU ran the ball today, and they ran it effectively. Kept it simple. Brandon Harris commanded the offense at quarterback. Fournette carried it. It was simple as that. Gus Malzahn said after the game, bottom line, we got our rear kicked.
He's a great player.
Now, the heartbeat of this offense, obviously, their quarterback, Jeremy Johnson, and right now this offense seems to be on life support.
Gus Malzahn won't say Jeremy Johnson's in the doghouse. He says all 11 guys on offense are competing for spots. He doesn't want to put his quarterback down, so he's saying everybody's got to compete, not just Jeremy Johnson. But if you look at his numbers, 11 for 19, 100 yards, did have 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, and 41 on the ground. But he was the leading rusher, and that was the problem. They needed him to run the ball, and he couldn't. We'll hear from Auburn's quarterback coming up a little bit later on in the program. Now, back in Birmingham, Samford coming into week 3. They're on a roll under first-year Chris Hatcher. They could start 3-0.
Start 3-0 at their home stadium at Cybert Stadium, but it was a tough challenge for them as they go up against their 10th-ranked team, the Chattanooga Mocs. Let's take a look at some of those highlights. Samford trying to go 3-0 under Chris Hatcher. Can they get it done? Well, it started strong. Michael Eubank. He goes 63 yards with the bomb to Emmanuel Obajimi for the 7-0 lead, but 'twas not to be for the Bulldogs. Jacob Huseman keeps it around the right end. Touchdown Mocs. They win this one 31-21.
The Miles Golden Bears hosting in-state rival University of